Hi everyone. Sid here back in the car driving to work. This morning was the first morning of the year where my windshield was frosted over as I got to my car, so fun times ahead. Today I would like to come back to a topic that I technically started a series on a while back, although it would be a series now because this is part 2 of the series on wealth redistribution. This is something I've wanted to share for a while. It's probably not going to be a very long video. I just basically have a couple metaphors to go through, and then I'm probably going to be done. So, something that fascinates me with lefties in general is this fascination that they have with taxing the rich. Now, I get that, you want goodies, and subconsciously you know that free isn't really free. Someone has to pay for it. And when lefties in general when lefties in general propose like some big government program to redistribute wealth in some way, the question of how you're going to pay for it is often answered with varying words, meaning just tax the rich more, just take it from them. And thinking of this throughout the years, I thought of a couple metaphors which kind of illustrates how silly the magic button of tax the rich to pay for all the free shit you want, how silly that is. And I had that notion I had this notion a while back, and a story to illustrate that, which is going to be one way to illustrate the point that I'm making. There was this picture that was floating around on Facebook for a while, and I doubt that I'll be able to find it. It's been used for many things, and when I tried to find this specific one that I'm talking about, I found similar ones that are based on the same principle, but I couldn't find that one. But I'll describe it. It should be pretty clear. So it's 3 people standing outside of a stadium with a fence. And there's a tall guy, a short guy, and a middle guy. And each one of them is standing on a box. And on one side, on that side of the picture, basically one side is equality and the other one is justice, something like that. And on the equality side, all 3 people are standing on one box. And the tall guy and the middle guy can both see the games, and their arms are up in the air like, yay! And the short guy, he can't see the baseball game because he's too short on his little box. So his arms are down like, boo, oh. And on the right side of the picture, the justice side, the tall guy is standing on the ground and he's tall enough to see the game, and the short guy is standing on 2 boxes and he's tall enough to see the game now, and all 3 have their arms up in the air and saying, yay, go baseball. And I remember this was back when I wasn't entirely fed up of having these discussions in the written form on social media. And I remember posting, like, I was pointing out the box is going to come from the middle guy because the tall guy has a lot more ability to protect his box. So it's kind of a fantasy because ultimately the box is going to come from the middle guy. And this kind of illustrates the my fascination with the silliness of this fantasy of, just tax the rich more. And to move on to the first metaphor that I wanted to cover, let's say that instead of talking about money, we were talking about cars. Some people have many cars, some people have more cars. And this also illustrates the point that if I steal a car from someone who has 2 cars and I give it to someone who has no cars, I'm not being generous. I'm a fucking thief. It wasn't my car to give, and the guy with 2 cars isn't being generous either because his car is stolen. It wasn't a free will choice. This is a point I've made on this channel many times before. But to add a little polish on that metaphor, let's say that of all the cars that you wanted to steal, you were going to steal the car that's in a garage that has a camera in it with motion sensors everywhere. So as soon as there's movement, the lights in the yard come on, which is one of the most effective deterrents apparently, along with dogs. So let's put guard dogs in the lawn of the guy who owns the car. So he has guard dogs, motion sensors, the lights will come on, and a camera in the garage, motion sensors in the garage, and the car has a car alarm and some kind of anti-démarreur in French, the thing where you have to press secret places or else the car doesn't start. Some kind of anti-theft device in it, and you're like, this poor guy has no car. He needs a car. I'm not gonna give my car. I need my car. So I'm gonna steal that guy's car. And the notion that you're gonna go after the car in the first place, as silly as it is, if you combine that with whining, oh, I couldn't get that guy's car. The guy protects his car. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's, one of the many advantages of having lots of money is that you have the resources to be able to afford a really good accountant and lawyers to help you navigate the complex tax code with all the loopholes that were lobbied for by people who have that money, which is part of the whole vicious cycle of regulatory capture and basically rich people paying for lobbyists to bribe government agents to pass laws that are in their favor, and those loopholes will then be exploited. Blah blah blah. You get the idea. And another metaphor that I came up with a while ago was the same principle. So you're going out to a bar and you just gotta get laid, and you're like, you know what? If I can't pull, I'm gonna fucking drag some bitch by the hair and rape her ass. And so the night, goes and you're having a shitty night, and now the rape option becomes more and more interesting to you. So now you're scouting the bar for some chick to rape, and of all the people in the bar that you choose to rape, you're gonna choose the woman, the sexy hot blonde in the red cocktail dress and that scarlet red makeup, and you get the drill. Stockings or not, depending on your liking. And she's at the bar, but she's surrounded by bodyguards who all have body armor, and they're all packing, and she has a can of pepper spray on the bar next to her, and just in case, she also has a gun in an ankle holster that's visible because she's crossing her legs in that sexy way that women do and revealing her ankle holster with gun in it. And you're like, I'm gonna go rape that bitch. And, you know, again, it's the fantasy of, first of all, these metaphors involve coercion, which is what taxation is. If this is new to you, I'll put a link below to a playlist of videos of mine where I've gone over these things. So yeah, there's the coercion, which fails the moral test, and this fantasy of all the people that you're going to coerce against. You're going to pick the ones who are the most capable of protecting themselves from that coercion and announcing it in advance. Like I remember thinking this when Justin Trudeau was running for office, and he was, of course, he was touting this stuff of I'm going to raise taxes on the rich, and not only are you choosing the car with the alarm in the garage with the guard dogs, not only are you choosing that hot red chick with the bodyguards and the ankle holster with a gun in it, but not only are you doing that, but you're telling them in advance, on April 12th at 10 p.m., I'm going to stop by your house to steal your car. Or if I don't pull by 1:30 p.m., I'm going to rape your ass. It's just, yeah. I think that having illustrated this with these two metaphors kind of helps to show why it's so fascinating to me, and why it fascinates me that lefties not only appeal to that, but seem baffled when they see that it doesn't work. So yeah, like the myth of wealth redistribution. First of all, as I covered in part 1, the term wealth redistribution is false. I just use it as shorthand, kind of like when I say lefty and righty. I've covered that before too. It's just verbal shorthand. But the myth of calling it wealth redistribution in the first place, which presupposes an initial distribution that you're just touched by God, and you're either born rich and you're born poor, and hey, what are you gonna do? Them's the breaks, so we need big government to come and steal the car in the garage with the motion sensors and the alarm to give to the poor guy who doesn't have a car. And hey, how else is he gonna have a car? He doesn't have a car, he needs a car. So yeah, I don't think I can go much further without beating this horse to death. So thank you very much for watching. It's one of those things I've wanted to talk about for a while, so I'm glad I did it. If you have any thoughts or elaborations on something that I've said in this video, please leave your comments below. And also, I'd appreciate it if you liked it and shared it. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those of you who have already, thank you so much. You are a major part in the motivation that keeps me going. And also, below you'll find links to my Twitter and Tumblr and other social media if and when I add or remove some. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.